Listen, and I say this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, your first deal is your best deal. I'm just telling you because it's proof of concept. I know a lot of wildly successful real estate entrepreneurs, a lot of wildly successful wholesalers that it took them so long to get their first deals, right? On average, it's like 5 or 6 months, and then things really started taking off. Well, it's the exact opposite for my guest on the podcast today. He took off like an absolute rocket. He's got 3 deals in his first 100 days, and I'm going to find out exactly how he did it. I'm going to squeeze out all the juice out of this conversation. From Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it is my pleasure to bring on Jay McMillan to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. I can't believe I'm on this so early. Sheesh.
Well, listen, that's the goal. That's the goal. I want everybody to be on here. Everybody that listens to this podcast, I want to ring the victory bell for them someday. But you got to go out and you got to close deals, and you got to go out and really take the action. Progress, not perfection. Take the instruction and actually go out and talk to property owners, have conversations and make offers and watch what happens. And that's exactly what you've done.
Thank you.
So how'd you do it?
Man, just not being afraid to talk to people, really.
Right.
That's the main thing. Just jumping into it. I'm the person that jumps off the cliff and grow my wings on the way down. So that's basically what I did, and just started calling. So, yeah.
Awesome. So you got in right away. You didn't have any apprehension to start picking up the phone and calling strangers and asking them if you could buy their house?
Oh, no, not really. Due to my past experiences of running businesses and running a business, and then also my personal training business too as well that I had in New York. That just built that tenacity and that just willpower just to talk to anybody, especially New York City, for sure.
I love it. And so let's go into that. So you were a trainer. You had to talk to a lot of people.
Yes.
Why'd you stop training?
I stopped training in the gym because of the pandemic, actually. So I was training in the gym for about 8 years prior to that, and did pretty well. I basically had to approach people in the gym and tell them about their form, and try to make them be my client.
Yeah.
Some people, a lot of times people said no. Sometimes people said yes. Sometimes people cussed me out. So I just got used to it. So
you were out there. You're walking around the gym. You're essentially prospecting for opportunities to work with people.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
Yep. March 2020. Yep. Got that call saying the gyms are shut down. So then after that, I had to pivot. Started training my clients online, and then during that time too as well, my wife and I, we created the product. We were basically just bored and just started just trying things out, and then we created a product called a wearable phone mount. It's an invention, and it's a way to basically have your phone on you as you're on the go. You can basically this is the phone case right here with a steel plate, this wearable strap and a magnet, and it sticks on like that. So you can wear your phone as you're on the go. So it's a wearable tripod. And then you can take it off and you can place it on right there. So most corners of walls have metal in it. If you can see that too as well. So
I love it.
it's a wearable tripod. I hate bulky tripods.
I love it. You're an inventor. You're a real estate entrepreneur. You're a trainer. That's awesome. What were you doing By the way, you're sending me one of those. We talked about it beforehand,
Yes,
and
sir. I got
I'm going to love that because I shoot a lot of videos with my phone, and I think everybody as an entrepreneur should have something like this. Because listen, you turn that phone around and you get loud, and you post and you document what you're doing on a daily basis, which you do. You do a phenomenal job of posting and showing what you're doing, and people send you opportunities. This is the one thing, your phone can be a huge distraction. It can also be your portal to whatever you want. Obviously, making the calls from it is going to be key, but you can turn around and put that camera on you and document your journey as a new entrepreneur, as a new wholesaler, as a new real estate, business person. And then all
yeah.
of a sudden, people are reaching out to you that you had no idea, and they're sending you deals. This happened to one of the other Rhino Tribe members, Stephanie Hunt. She was documenting that she was going to call and talk to 100 people about their properties in one day. We call it the Emptying Your Clip Challenge. And she had a friend reach out and give her a deal that she's going to make like $25,000 on. It's absolutely incredible. So I love that you have that, and I love that that you're talking about. It's called Easy Reach.
Easy
That's
read.
awesome.
Yep, yep. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, uh, Amazon as well. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
How'd you find real estate wholesaling?
man. So, selling a product is very expensive when it comes to marketing. I mean, you would think you're doing well, and you're not. That's why businesses fail so fast, because you don't think about the future 3 years down the line, and marketing is so expensive, so expensive. So I basically had to look into credit, the whole credit game. So we were trying to get credit cards for the business and things like that too as well to help build, get lines of credit. And then wholesaling came up. So because when it came to credit, you can use the credit for real estate. So that's when I found out about wholesaling through a guy named Max Maxwell that I saw online.
Yep.
But then you came up. So I was watching both of you guys at the same time, you know? And honestly, you sold me, man, because you seem like such a genuine person. And you just gave out so much just free advice and knowledge. And I probably could have just got my first deal off of just not joining joining the group TTP.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, you know what? Let me just dive right in and just get to it. You know what I mean? And not have the analysis dialysis thing going on. And
Paralysis.
paralysis, yes, paralysis,
Yeah.
and just just get after it. And man, you definitely did it for me, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate
Awesome. Well, listen, we talk about the three P's, right?
you.
Paralysis by analysis,
Yes.
perfectionism, and procrastination.
Yeah.
And if you can recognize those, then you can get rid of those three. But it's when you don't recognize them that it really slows the process down. And you were like, you know what? I'm going to just take the instruction and go. It's
Yeah.
interesting. We all have this, and this happens on not just in business, but in everything. We try to filter everything through our own experience. And I have found with the best when I see really big jumps in my business and in my skills, it's
Yeah.
when I stop like filtering it and buffering it and just hear it, go do it. Hear it, go do it. I want it to be tested. I want to test things. I think people should test things a lot faster. And the more that you test, the faster that you're going to be able to build those skills because you're going to have the experience, and the faster that you're going to be able to provide value. Because listen, our income is tied to the amount of service that we provide. Well, our service is tied to the amount of skills that we have. So how do we develop skills on something that we've never done before? We have to go out and we have to do it. We can't pontificate about it. We can't think about it. We can't just theorize about it. It can't just be in the classroom. We have to go out there into the real world, into the streets, and go and take massive imperfect action. And that's essentially what you've been doing. So who did you start calling right away? Give us the juicy lists, Jay. Who gets a deal? 3 deals in their first 100 days. There must be some mystery to what you're doing.
Driving for dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So literally driving for dollars, just driving around trying to find the ugliest house that I could find, and started off hand dialing and just I found the property owner via True People Search,
Yep.
like that, and then called on the property owners, and that's how that was.
I
Yeah.
love it. And are you using an app to drive for dollars, or are you just writing down the addresses?
So at first, I was writing down the addresses, and I've been trying to take everything step by step.
Yep.
And then I wrote down the addresses for a little while. Then I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and get Deal Machine.
Mm-hmm.
So Deal Machine is how I landed my first deal because it was just easier to track the addresses and things like that. So and also their driving for dollars was amazing too as
Yeah.
well. Very easy to maneuver and use.
Yeah, that's how I started, Jay. I went out with a pad of paper, a pen, drove around, found the ugliest properties, called
Mhm.
them up, and that's how I did my first 20 deals. Was that before I got a referral to a deal, before I started, pulling other lists of distressed properties. I
Right.
mean, 80% of new real estate investors find their first deals from driving for dollars. New wholesalers, if they're sourcing it themselves. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about people that are buying rentals from the MLS or something like that. I'm talking about going out and finding really great opportunities that they source themselves. Comes from driving for dollars. It's really powerful, and it's very basic. It's very simple. There's nothing, magical about it. It's,
Right.
is there a distressed property? Great. How can I talk to that property owner? And just do that over and over and over and over again, right?
Yep. Yep.
And that's it.
That's
And so
it.
you're driving around Winston-Salem, just finding properties, putting them into your Deal Machine app, and just calling them.
Yep. And I found the ugliest house in Winston-Salem, probably.
You did
I know I did. I might
for
have been
for your first deal.
for my first deal. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
So just driving around Winston-Salem, I mean, literally, this house just sticks out like a sore thumb. And so I actually got in touch with the owner, like literally the second week I think I started. I got in touch with the owner. Um, and he picked up the phone and said, "Yeah, I'm ready to sell. I have 3 places I want to sell." I said, "What? 3 places? Okay, all right, let's talk." You know. But after that convo, I didn't really set like a parameter as far as like, look, let's have a follow up call or anything like that. I didn't really know about that too much about following up. But so I called him again out of nowhere. It's like a week later, like no, a couple of days later actually. He
Yeah,
didn't called him again. A couple of days later, he didn't pick up. And then a week later, I called him, didn't pick up. So it took about a good solid month and some change to actually get in touch with this guy. And how I got in touch with him was through a text. That's when I figured out. I was like, oh wow, like some people just don't want to talk on the phone,
yep.
you know. So we were texting, and he was still interested in selling those 3 properties. Luckily, and he actually had 2 people already for 2 properties, but then he had one more sitting there left, and he was like, "Look, you can have this one." I said, "Okay, all right, cool." So I actually had a good friend here in Winston Salem. She is also a wholesaler, and she actually had buyers in the area. I did not. So I JV'd with her. She found a buyer. I found the seller, and locked it up, and that was it. So
I
um,
love it. So
yep.
so real quick. So condition of this property. What you're saying it's the worst?
Ooh,
Like what does that mean?
man. So I mean, the grass might have been as tall as I am.
By the way, Jay is 6'6". He's as tall as Michael Jordan. Yeah, that's wild.
Like
Yep.
seriously, that's as tall as I am. I mean, the trees were like growing all over the sides of the house. Um, you could actually get inside by crawling into one of the back doors, but like the floor was kind of like caved in. I mean, I was just looking in the windows, man, and it just looked horrendous in there. You couldn't walk in there. You really couldn't. You know, the roofing was messed up. It had some code violations too as well when it came to the roof. The siding, the siding too as well was messed up. I mean, it was just, whew, it was crazy.
So has it just been vacant for a long time?
This guy, this particular investor slash
Yeah.
broker, actually has a lot of ugly houses in Winston Salem. They're just sitting there.
What do you mean a lot? Like 12, like 50? How many?
Like probably 30 easily, just sitting there. You see an ugly house in Winston-Salem, it's probably his. It's crazy.
And so,
Yeah.
I mean, did he just own them for a long time as rentals, or did he buy them in the downturn in like 2009, 2010, and just thought that he'd sit on them?
Yep. Exactly. Bought them in the downturn, just sit on them, and they also had rentals too as well. But then they became vacant, and they just sat there, and he just wasn't selling anything. He wouldn't sell anything. So
It's interesting. We have a lot of investors like that here as well in Phoenix,
weird.
Jay.
Yeah.
And whenever I see them put it on the market, it's interesting. I see, we'll look on the market sometimes and look for the roughest properties and the lowest prices and try to negotiate with them. But if I see that they bought 9 and 10, I know that they're going to sit on these things for as long as they can, because they
Yeah.
bought them for like pennies on the dollar, like literally nothing, and they have no motivation. So I know real quick to get to the bottom line with those property owners, or I'm going to just be wasting my time. I don't want to do that. So that's a tip for everybody out there. When you're doing your research, you're doing your due diligence, find out when they bought that property. See what they bought that property for. Did they buy it cash? And have they done anything since the time that they bought it? Because a lot of people bought them on the market. So you could see the old listings and look at the condition of the property then, and then look at the property now. And I mean, it's been 13 years, 12 years, and still these properties, they haven't sunk any investment into them. It's literally just buy it and just wait type of thing until it gets to a certain point. And, listen, these properties don't magically repair themselves. They start getting worse and worse and worse, and you find opportunities, which is really great.
Yeah.
So, the buyer came from another wholesaler,
Yes. Hmm.
and how'd you meet that wholesaler?
So I met her through a entrepreneurial event that was going on here in Winston Salem, and she actually is a serial entrepreneur as well. She owns a few businesses in the area, and I didn't know she did wholesaling until I saw her on a Max Maxwell video.
Yep.
Hold up, like you do wholesaling? And this was out as I was learning more about it. And so I hit her up, and she was more than willing to help me out. And as I got my feet wet, she was like, you know what? Look, I can bring the buyer on board. We can get this deal going, and keep it moving as
I
fast as.
love.
So yeah.
And
This
how
is,
big of a deal? What'd you lock it up for? What'd you sell it for?
so locked up for $11,000.
And sold it for how much?
I mean, so we sold it for 17,500. Nothing crazy.
Awesome. So you guys split six.
What's that?
You guys split 6,000
Yes.
on your
Yes.
first deal.
6,500.
Come on.
It was the best. That's what I'm talking about.
Listen, and I say this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, your first deal is your best deal. I'm just telling you because it's proof of concept.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Tom Kroll, who created Wholesaling Inc., and he had screwed up everything on his first deal. But he made like $2,000 on it. And he went through all of these hoops, and he didn't even run it through title. He had to, the guy gave him cash from like a safe that he had in his house. I mean, he screwed up everything, but that one deal led to hundreds of deals, right? My first deal, I didn't even know what wholesaling was, but I understood it after I did the deal. And that proof of concept is so powerful. It opens up the floodgates. It truly does. It's like, you've got all this water being held back, and then all of a sudden it just cracks open, and it's coming out a little bit. But the more that water rushes through that dam, boom, it just all of a sudden explodes, and you start making massive deals and massive profits. And it's unbelievable. This business is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it starts with that first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you've got two others, and you're working on others and others. And you posted in our Rhino Tribe Facebook group that it's the first time that you've had two at one time, and it's just like, that's the momentum. It doesn't matter what you make on your first one. Just make something on your first one. That is your receipt that you went out there and provided value and took action. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't let self-doubt bring it down. You didn't let distractions, you didn't let disappointments stop you. You just went out and did it. You went out, you talked to the property owner and matched him up with an investor that wanted a $16,000 house that is the worst in Winston-Salem. But they're going to go and they're going to put investment into that property. They're going to turn that around. And now the neighborhood is going to be raised up because of it. It's incredible.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. So let me ask this. You said two words that scare me. All right? Serial entrepreneur. All right? Because it's very hard not to, I mean, it's very difficult to, it's like you're raising twins or triplets. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you have a lot of businesses, these are like your babies. You got to really nurture them and care for them and really get it to mature and pay attention to them and put so much time and effort into it. How do you do it having multiple businesses?
Sheesh. That's a good question. Just you just gotta stay locked in. Like I kind of get obsessive over what I do on a daily basis when it comes to my craft, and I just stay locked in. And like it's like all day. When it comes to even while I'm actually making calls, I'm posting stuff for Easy Reach and looking at emails for Easy Reach, and then it's crazy. 'Cause I'm doing Mojo now, the dollar.
Yep.
So as I'm on the dollar, I'm doing stuff for Easy Reach, and then it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I'm trying to figure it out as I go. But I know I've always said that real estate is where I wanted to end up.
Yep.
You know, so and this
Yeah,
is this.
what's your goal with it? What do you see? 5 years, 10 years? Where do you see this going?
Um, that's still a question that I haven't really figured out yet. I'm still just an information overload. I feel like I'm just so new to this. Like
Yep.
literally just having this real estate mindset, like starting at 3.5, 4 months ago. Um, I just want to be able to do what you say as far as for build my capital first
Yep.
as much as I can with wholesaling, and then eventually I want to build my portfolio after that. But I'm basically going to follow everything that you say and get the wholesale deals first. You think you said make about 300,000 in the bank account before you start keeping properties, right?
Yep.
So that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do as of right now. So
I love it. And people listening to this or watching this, maybe they heard Moran's podcast as well, where I talked about that. But I think listen, if you have the discipline to keep 300,000 after taxes in an account and really just focus on building your cash machine, your ATM, which is your wholesaling business, you're going to find the best deals. I mean, you're going to be unstoppable. You're not going to make a lot of the dumb mistakes that I certainly did. And really, this is just coming from what I have been through and what I've seen a lot of people that have been just absolutely building something incredible with their wholesaling business, building a ton of momentum, and then all of a sudden all of that stops because they start buying rental properties and it takes all their attention. And so
man, I
attention
got one
management.
I was like, it's kind of like it's tempting. One right now, it's tempting.
I know.
It's
It
tempting.
is.
Yeah,
But then all of a sudden all the momentum halts. Now
yeah,
you have Easy Reach, you have your wholesaling business, and you have your rental portfolio. Now you got triplets running around.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you can do it, but it's going to be exhausting for a long time, and
yeah.
you're going to have sacrifices in other areas. And I just think that I think that you can build this thing up, or 2 or 3 years, really get that momentum, start replacing yourself. I mean, there's a process to this. Number one is to pick your tribe. Don't do it yourself. Pick a community. Have people that are already doing this. We're not in the industrial age. We're not in the information age. We're in the social age. That's an absolute fact. And so pick your tribe, pick your model, pick what path you're going to follow, do your first deal, get the proof of concept, get consistent so that you can do it full time and fire your boss. And then once you've got it going and you're really making things happen and you're really closing deals consistently, you start firing yourself from different roles in the business. And now you've got a business that runs without you, and you could go focus on building the best rental portfolio possible.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about backstepping and going 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. You could just take those long 6'6" strides all the way up and just crush. You know what I mean?
I can't wait, man. I'm so
That's
excited.
it. That's it. That's awesome. So how do you balance between you're doing easy reach stuff while you're making your calls?
Yeah, just posting and doing research on that too as well, as far as product development. Um, I mean, Easy Reach is definitely my passion because I work out. I work out daily, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. That keeps me sane. So I get up in the morning, 5:30 a.m., hit the gym, and get to it. So also I film myself when I'm working out too.
Yep.
So it makes sense for me, and
Yeah.
when I first started it, it just made sense to everybody else too, and yeah. So
I love it. And you work with your wife?
yeah, hmm
How does that work?
it's not easy. Not easy because I tried to actually get her on board with this too, with the wholesaling stuff,
Sure.
but that probably would have been a little too much.
Got it.
Yeah.
One business at a time. Well, and listen, I don't think that people should necessarily have business partners in the wholesaling business. I think in other businesses, sure, in businesses that you're going to build up to sell, fantastic. But I think in our business, obviously you're going to be partners with your wife either way, but I'm just talking to everybody else out there that's thinking about business partners. Most of the time you can just hire people that you think should be your business partner. Most of the time we're just nervous and insecure to do the job and do the work. So we kind of squat up with somebody to do business together. And then all of a sudden you look up, you're doing all the work, the partner's not, and they're getting 50% and so are you. So don't do that. Just hire people when the time's right. Just keep your head down, find your right tribe, rock and roll, and then you can hire people for those roles. So,
Yeah.
awesome. Jay, how can people get a hold of you? How can people find Easy Reach?
So they can find Easy Reach at Easy Reach Apparel. That's letter E, letter Z, Reach Apparel. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube as well. We sell on Amazon, so you can check us out on there. So,
Awesome.
and
And how can they reach out to you? If they're
my
in
first,
Winston-Salem, if they're in North Carolina, if they're from anywhere, but they're just inspired about your story, how can they reach out?
my personal page is on Facebook is my full name, Lourdes J. McMillan II. And then my Instagram is Mr. Easy Reach.
Awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you. You know what I'm going to do? If you write a comment and a review for this podcast on iTunes or Spotify, we're going to send you an Easy Reach. We're going to send you one of these things, and it's absolutely awesome. You're going to love it, and you're going to be able to document your journey so that you can get 2 or 3 or 4 extra deals and put an extra 10, 20, 40,000 into your bank account from actually getting loud and being brave and showing people the mistakes that you're making and the progress that you're making, but more importantly, the conviction you have of being a real estate entrepreneur. I'm telling you, if you turn that phone around and you have conviction, people will respect it, and it's awesome. Jay,
Yeah, it is.
thanks for being on here. Shout out to Easy Reach. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Guys, he did mention Deal Machine. They're a great, great, great friend of the Rhino Tribe, and they give you some bonuses if you use the coupon code TTP, as in Talk to People, and they have for years and years and years. They're absolutely phenomenal, and it is a tool that you must have as you're starting to build momentum to go find your first deals. So dealmachine.com and use that coupon code TTP. And if you're interested in joining the most proactive group, the most proactive community, the most proactive tribe in real estate investing, go to wholesalinginc.com. Check it out. Wholesalinginc.com. Check it out. Check out what the program's all about. If it feels good in your gut, sign up for a call. And I look forward to working with you personally. And that's it. On behalf of the entire Rhino Tribe. I will sign off as I always do, encouraging you to go out there and talk to people. Till next time. Love you guys.